What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about a video that was released by the new leader of Syria, the new president of Syria, the self-appointed president who will be president for 4 years. His name is Ahmed al-Shara, and he released a video recently about what his plans for Syria was. And I don't want to take too much time talking about it. I want to get right into it and listen and read what he says. It's got subtitles so you can see what he was saying. And then we can talk about it because I'm very curious to hear what he had to say.
بقلب ملئه الأمل والعزيمة موجها كلمتي إلى كل السوريين والسوريات، إلى من يعيشون في مخيمات التهجير، إلى النازحين واللاجئين، إلى الجرحى والمصابين، إلى عائلات الشهداء والمفقودين، إلى الناشطين الثوار الذين كرسوا حياتهم للنضال من أجل سوريا الحرة. أقف أمامكم اليوم بعد 54 يوما من تحررنا جميعا، تحرر سوريا من قيود نظام مجرم جثم على صدورنا لعقود. 54 يوما مرت على زوال 54 عاما من أحلك أشكال الحكم الاستبدادي في العالم أجمع. تحررت سوريا بفضل الله أولا، ثم بفضل كل إنسان ناضل في الداخل والخارج، كل إنسان ضحى بروحه ودمه ومنزله وماله وأمنه وأمانه. تحررت سوريا بالشهداء والمعتقلين والمعتقلات، والمعذبين والمعذبات، والمفقودين والمفقودات، وجميع أمهاتهم الثكالى وأهلهم المكلومين بسبب تضحياتهم وتضحياتكم جميعا. أقف هنا اليوم لنفتح معا فصلا جديدا في تاريخ بلدنا الحبيب. انطلق هذا النصر من حناجر المتظاهرين وهتافات المحتجين في الساحات والميادين. انطلق من أنامل حمزة الخطيب.
So when he talks about this victory started from the fingers of Hamza al-Khatib, what he's talking about is a 13-year-old boy that was tortured and ultimately killed, I believe, in 2011. The only articles I can find about him were published on 31 May. Said the young boy was arrested during a protest in Saida, which is 10 kilometers east of Dara, on April 29th. And then his body was returned to his family on Tuesday, 24 May, horribly mutilated. The child had spent nearly a month in the custody of Syrian security, and when they finally returned his corpse, it bore the scars of brutal torture. Lacerations, bruises, and burns to his feet, elbows, face, and knees, consistent with the use of electric shock devices and of being whipped with cable, both techniques of torture that have been documented by Human Rights Watch as being used in Syrian prisons during the bloody 3-month crackdown on protesters, specifically in Sednaya. Hamza's eyes were swollen and black, and there were identical bullet wounds where he had apparently been shot through both arms, the bullets tearing a hole in his sides and lodging in his belly. On Hamza's chest was a deep, dark burn mark. His neck was broken, and his reproductive organ was cut off. There was a video that was uploaded to YouTube about like somebody that was inspecting his body apparently a while back. I don't know if it's still there. The original clip was removed. And then somebody re-uploaded a blurred version of it. So, because obviously his genitals were showing. It was a month before he was released to his family. And when they received him, he was a corpse. So that's what he's referring to when he's talking about Hamza.
وأهازيج المظاهرات وآهات المعتقلين والمعذبين في أقمية تدمر وصيدنايا وفرع فلسطين. واستمر بتضحيات الثوار الذين حرروا أرض سوريا رغم سنوات من عذابات الصواريخ والبراميل
barrel bombs, chemical attacks,
ولم ينكسروا. أيها الإخوة والأخوات، تسلمت بالأمس مسؤولية البلاد، وذلك بعد مشاورات مكثفة.
So he appointed himself as the president for 4 years, from what I've been hearing.
مع الخبراء القانونيين لضمان سير العملية السياسية ضمن الأعراف القانونية وبما يمنحها الشرعية اللازمة. ومن هنا أخاطبكم اليوم بصفتي رئيسا لسوريا في هذه الفترة المصيرية، سائلا الله أن يوفقنا جميعا للنهوض بوطننا وتجاوز التحديات التي نواجهها، ولن يكون ذلك إلا بتكاتف الجميع شعبا وقيادة. أحدثكم اليوم لا كحاكم بل كخادم لوطننا الجريح، ساعيا بكل ما أوتيت من قوة وإرادة لتحقيق وحدة سوريا ونهضتها، مستصحبين جميعا أن هذه مرحلة انتقالية، وهي جزء من عملية سياسية تتطلب مشاركة حقيقية لكل السوريين والسوريات في الداخل والخارج لبناء مستقبلهم بحرية وكرامة دون إقصاء أو تهميش. وسنعمل على تشكيل حكومة انتقالية شاملة.
An inclusive transitional government. That's interesting.
تعبر عن تنوع سوريا برجالها ونسائها وشبابها، وتتولى العمل على بناء مؤسسات سوريا الجديدة حتى نصل إلى مرحلة انتخابات حرة نزيهة. واستنادا لتفويضي بمهامي الحالية وقرار حل مجلس الشعب، فإنني سأعلن عن لجنة تحضيرية لاختيار مجلس تشريعي مصغر يملأ هذا الفراغ في المرحلة الانتقالية. وسنعلن في الأيام القادمة عن اللجنة التحضيرية لمؤتمر الحوار الوطني، والذي سيكون منصة مباشرة للمداولات والمشاورات واستماع مختلف وجهات النظر حول برنامجنا السياسي القادم. وبعد إتمام هذه الخطوات سنعلن عن الإعلان الدستوري
Constitutional Declaration. Okay.
للمرحلة الانتقالية. سنركز في الفترة القادمة على رسم أولوياتنا ضمن الآتي: تحقيق السلم الأهلي وملاحقة المجرمين الذين
prosecute criminals who shed Syrian blood. See, that piece, it's like, okay, you're going to prosecute him. I've still, like, literally yesterday, as far as recently as yesterday, I saw a video of some Hayat Tahrir al-Sham guys just gunning a dude down that was like a brigadier general for Assad's regime. So, like, are we going to prosecute people, or are we going to just gun people down in the streets? Because there's obviously a big difference, So that's, and I don't know if he has control over all of those people, because there's so many different groups and there's so many different people operating in the, I guess, quote unquote, militarized forces like that they have. It's more of a militia, really, because there's a bunch of people from all these different countries operating in there. So he's probably gonna have to get control of those folks and like stop that kind of thing from happening if he wants any type of legitimacy in his government.
ولغوا في الدم السوري وارتكبوا بحقنا المجازر والجرائم، سواء ممن اختبأوا داخل البلاد أو فروا خارجها عبر عدالة.
Whether they're hiding inside or outside. Interesting.
انتقالية حقيقية. إتمام وحدة الأراضي السورية.
Completion of the unity of the Syrian territories. Now, that's interesting, because like right now, it's kind of like, the northeast of the whole country is controlled by the Kurds mainly, which are backed by the U.S., like the Syrian Democratic Forces, for example. And we have a bunch of bases there. So that's going to be an interesting, like, depending on what he means by that, by the context, that could be a particularly interesting thing to see how that is navigated. All of Syria, and impose its sovereignty under one authority on one land.
وبناء مؤسسات قوية للدولة تقوم على الكفاءة والعدل، لا فساد فيها ولا محسوبية ولا رشاوى، وإرساء دعائم اقتصاد قوي يعيد لسوريا مكانتها الإقليمية والدولية، ويوفر فرص عمل حقيقية كريمة لتحسين الظروف المعيشية واستعادة الخدمات الأساسية المفقودة. يا أبناء سوريا الحرة، إن بناء الوطن
Zero sons of free Syria. Not sure what that means.
وهذه دعوة لجميع السوريين للمشاركة في بناء وطن جديد يحكم فيه بالعدل والشورى. معا سنصنع سوريا المستقبل، سوريا منارة العلم والتقدم وملاذ الأمن والاستقرار، سوريا الرخاء والتقدم والازدهار، سوريا التي تمد يدها بالسلام والاحترام ليعود أهلها إلى وطن عزيز كريم مزدهر آمن مطمئن بإذن الله والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's going to be interesting to see what happens with that, because I mean, he's got a long way to go. I know a lot of folks are very skeptical of this because of the fact that he was the leader of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, which used to be formerly called Nusra Front, which is an al-Qaeda affiliate. And so it's going to take a lot of work to build legitimacy within their government, just because, if you work that hard to go in one direction, you have to work just as hard to get back. So I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you think that they're going to be able to form a legitimate government? Do you think that the Arab Syrians are going to be able to get along with the Kurdish Syrians? Do you think that Turkey's going to have an impact on this? Because I think Turkey's heavily involved. I know Russia's, for the most part, pulled out of Tartus and their bases in Syria. So, I mean, obviously, the Americans still have bases in northeastern Syria, and we still work with a lot of the Kurds to facilitate, the enduring defeat of ISIS. So, I don't know. I'd be curious. Like I said, I'd be curious to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. And do you guys think that they're going to be able to build a legitimate government? And do you think that they're going to be able to, instill and in place an actual free and fair, open society? So, I don't know. I guess time will tell, and we'll have to wait and see.